Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our intermittent fasting journey. Just wanted to share with you a quick review of some of the my favorite drinks when I'm intermittent fasting, so I don't get off the bandwagon. Here we are on day 19, and I'm close to about 12 or 13 pounds that I've lost in about 18 or 19 days. So I want to keep going. Want to keep going further with the program, and then just to make sure I get to my second short-term goal is going to be to get to 219 by the end of January. So I want to stay on track. These are my top five beverages that I like to enjoy during my 19 hours of fasting. If you remember, I switched to 19.5. I actually graduated from I grew a tolerance to the 16.8. So I decided to go to 19.5, which means that for 19 hours of the day, I'm not eating anything except for possibly any of these five beverages. The ones that I really prefer, of course, are green tea and just general water, but I do like to enjoy lemon water also. I prefer lime. I just have access to better limes than I do lemons. Sometimes I will have apple cider vinegar, but it's not one of my favorites. It's a really bitter taste. And then also, some of the Gatorades are 0 calorie, or some of the diet beverages are 0 calorie, and they're actually built to be like electrolyte replenishment. And then you can actually get electrolyte water from any of your major grocery stores. Some of them will actually sell it as water for babies also. So you can look for it on the different brands. So if we start from the top, lemon water, these are the three criteria that most people think about. Does it contain sugar? Does it interrupt fat burning zone? Of course, our goal is to get into that fat burning zone as soon as possible. So after we digest a meal, to go from the fed state to the absorption state and get through those two major states before we get into the advanced fat burning state, where your body is actually tapping into its own reserves of fat in order for energy. So that's going to be an issue here. Of course, if you're providing any kind of even simple carbohydrates, then that probably pulls you out of that fat burning zone. And that's going to be not only a physical blocker for you, but also a mental block as far as going forward with your fat burning goals. So I found with lemon water, it's a really good way to replenish your system. It doesn't really contain any sugars except for maybe, I would say, like just like a sugary taste from the lime or lemon itself. No significant calories. So I would consider lemon water to be safe. I don't think that's going to interrupt you as far as your fat burning zone. And I don't think it's going to actually pull you out of your that basal metabolic rate or affect your basal metabolic rate. Green tea, of course, if you drink it unsweetened, this is one of the number one beverages that most dietitians and doctors who specialize in obesity recommend for people who are fasting. So I would definitely take a look at green tea as an option also. And then apple cider vinegar, to my knowledge, is simply just like fermented. It's like a fermented version of apple juice. So if you take like 1 or 2 teaspoons with like maybe a pint or two of water, I don't anticipate that there'll be any significant calorie or sugar intake. If anything, it's going to help you with your fat burning, from what I understand from all the benefits of ACV, and I don't think it's going to affect your basal metabolic rate. As far as the calorie beverages, I'm not really a fan of them because a lot of them have additives, and I've tried a few of them, and I'm not quite sure exactly what the full ingredients are. Yes, regarding the calorie beverages, one of the main concern I have is additives. So I'm not quite sure if, even though it says 0 calories, I don't know if what type of sweeteners they use, how they're able to accomplish getting them to taste sweet with a flavoring. So generally, I avoid them. So I can't really speak on whether they have any sugar or if they interrupt your fat burning cycle, or your if they affect your basal metabolic rate. As far as electrolyte water, the major electrolytes are going to be potassium and sodium, magnesium. These are your major electrolytes, and these are the electrolytes that affect you really need to survive in order to have a well functioning body. Because intermittent fasting is very water intensive, you have to drink a lot of water, and you need to stay hydrated during the process. And it will help with your overall weight loss if you're drinking a lot of water, because it helps to keep you full. And of course, you're going to be flushing your body of a lot of toxins and a lot of waste matter that you actually are purifying your body of through the fasting process. The fasting process, in my opinion, is not only for losing weight, but it's also a body purification. I've noticed that my skin has cleared up quite a bit. I used to have like pretty bad acne on my forearm sometimes, probably because I'm into sports and I'm physically active, and that has seemed to lessen during the time that I've been doing the fasting. So it could mean that possibly that I'm actually getting a lot more hydration, and I'm actually forcing myself to be hydrated during the process of fasting. But of all the different weight loss programs that I've tried, based on everything that I'm doing right now, the results, I'm really impressed with the results. I'm actually focusing simply on making sure that I eat sensible meals within a short period of time, and I'm using my sleep cycle to get more rested. My sleep cycle has become really, really rewarding, and because of the fasting, because I'm not going to sleep with a large amount of blood sugar that I have to be, that's going to, in my opinion, may have interrupted my sleep cycle. So now I'm a lot more rested. When I do get my 8 or 9 hours of sleep, I feel more refreshed during the day. Um, and I have that overall feeling of just refreshment and replenishment and rejuvenation from my sleep cycle. Whereas sleep was something I struggled with for many years, simply because I didn't understand the ramifications of eating like a carbohydrate high meal late at night, like 9 or 10 o'clock. There was no doctor out there that explained to me that this is possibly going to affect your sleep cycle. And no doctor there actually took the time to explain to me as far as how a high carbohydrate meal might affect my insulin, and how my body actually produces insulin to compensate for that absorption. So these are all different things that I learned along the way for my fasting journey, and that's why I'm sharing it with you here in this series. We're going all the way up to day 182. Hopefully I'll have achieved the results that I'm really looking for. But as far as these are the 5 main beverages that I'm looking at, I would say 80% and would be for green tea. I do drink some lime water now and then, just for flavor. And I'm going to be experimenting with electrolyte water as soon as I start picking up more exercise to accelerate the results of my fasting. But this is what I just basically wanted to for us to take a look at as far as going forward. I hope this answers some of the questions that some people ask as far as what types of drinks do you have when you're fasting. So please look forward to our next update. Always remember to like, share, and subscribe, and thank you so much.